Hello, everybody. Tomorrow we are going to start a new lesson or actually a new topic in math, and it's about adding and subtracting decimals. So, for tonight, for your homework, I actually want you to watch this video to prepare for the lesson tomorrow. And the video is only about adding decimals. We are not going to work on subtracting today. It's only adding decimals. Okay. So there are some little tips for you here as far as adding decimals. But one thing I have to tell you is pretty much the same thing as if you were adding whole numbers. But there are a few tips for you to make sure you get the correct answer. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is, let's say these two numbers. I'm going to add these two numbers, 11.39 plus 14.27. What I want you to pay attention to as far as what my tip is or the rule is that to make sure these numbers are stacked properly. The hundredth and the hundredth, the tenth under the tenth, the decimal point under the decimal point, the ones under the ones, the tens under the tens. You would do that even with whole numbers, right? If you don't stack these numbers properly, your answer is going to be wrong. And the decimal point actually helps you see where to place these numbers. So now that it's aligned properly, we can go ahead and add just as if we were adding any other number. So 9 plus 7 equals 16. 1 goes over there, right? 3 plus 1 equals 4, 5, 6. Bring down the decimal point. Then 1 plus 4 equals 5. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So there you go. 11.39 plus 14.27 equals 25.66. Remember, make sure to always align your numbers. Let's try another one here. So the next one is 0.62 plus 0.56. You can see that I don't even have whole numbers here. So this is a very small number to solve. Your answer is going to be very small, right? So let's add it properly. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 6 plus 5 equals 11. 1 goes over there. 1 plus 0 equals 1. 1.18. This is your answer. Again, nothing different if you had whole numbers, except that now you have your decimal point. So make sure you have your numbers aligned properly. All you have to do is be neat. Once you neatly write your numbers properly lined up, you should have no issues with adding decimals. Now I have two here that I want you to pay attention to because this is one that many kids make mistakes. Many kids make mistakes with this one, which is 13 plus, and I'm going to write it this way first so I can tell you what the problem with this one, 7.69. The error that many kids make here is that they don't line these numbers properly. Remember that we line up the decimal point with the decimal point. Look over here, decimal point, decimal point, decimal point, decimal point. Here, I do see my decimal point. Here, I don't see my decimal point. But guess what? There is a decimal point there. And where would it go? Well, this is a whole number. And if you remember in your place value chart, this is the ones place, right? Where does the decimal go in your place value? It goes right after the whole number, right after the ones. This is the ones, the decimal point. Here, this is the ones, the decimal point. So you need to know that when you have a whole number, the decimal point goes right after it. So yes, you didn't have a decimal point here, but we know where it is. You can add it there. So now you go ahead and you line it up. So I'm going to start with actually this number here to help it make it easier for you. So 7.69. Now I'm going to line this up. Okay, the 3 is in the ones place, so it has to be under the 7. And then the tens goes here, the decimal point. There's nothing here. We need to fill that up with zeros. 0, 0. And you may say, why do I have to add those zeros there? And to be honest, when you add the zeros, this number is not changing. Remember when we learned about equivalent decimals? 13 or 13.0 or 13.00 or 13.000. They all mean the same. They're equivalent. Okay? So, all right, we are ready to add these numbers now. Okay, so 9 plus 0 equals 9. 6 plus 0 equals 6. Bring down the decimal point. 7 plus 3 equals 10. Carry 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And there you have your answer to this question here. Now, if you want to pause the video for this next question and give it a try yourself, you can pause it and try. Okay, so I'm going to do another one similar to that. Okay, so it's 12 plus 6.56. Again, if you want to pause the video and give this one a try and then continue with the video so you can see if you got it right, please do that. So first thing we need to do, well, we have the decimal point here. Where is the decimal point for this number? This is my whole number, and the decimal point always goes right after the whole number. So the decimal point is actually here. So now I can go ahead and line these numbers up and down. So then it's aligned properly. So I can actually, I'm going to start with this one, 6.56. You see that I write my numbers neatly. There's a little bit of space. They're not squished together because that helps. And then I'm going to do 12. Look at the decimal point. So the 2 is in the ones place just like the 6. 2, 1, the decimal point, and then it's empty here. But 12 or 12.0 means the same thing, and 12.00 also means the same thing. But I add the zeros because that will help you add. Okay, so let's try to solve this one. Don't forget it's adding, right? So this one is this question here. 6 plus 0 equals 6. 5 plus 0 equals 5. Bring down the decimal point. 6 plus 2 equals 8. And then you have 1. So this is your final answer. Okay, so basically it's like 6.56 plus 12.0 is 18.56. All right, so again, I'm going to quickly write the steps for you here in the corner. Actually, let me change this here. So first step, check if you need to add a decimal point after the whole number. Just like we did with the 13 and we did with the 12. Okay, you have to. Second step, all you have to do is stack the numbers. Making sure that the decimal point is also aligned with the other one. So here, look at this. So the answer is also here. Here, decimal point is aligned. If you do this carefully, all the numbers are aligned properly as well. Okay, so please watch this tonight. So when we come to class tomorrow, we are ready to just clarify some. I'll do a couple with you in class and then we can do more practice. All right, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you tomorrow.